Oh, hello there and welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgina and I am the Honest Vocal Coach, and today is the recap for the grand final of Eurovision 2024. So before we even start, just to let you know, I do have a playlist which has got all of my previous reactions to the songs, the rehearsals, the semi-final recaps, so you can get a full picture of what I think of each country. Feel free to check out that playlist. I will put a link to it at the end of the video and above, so you can click on that and do a bit of a recap, because there may be things that I missed saying in this recap that you didn't know I've said, stuff like that. So the whole thing started with a glitch straight away for us in the UK. Don't know what happened there, but we got to listen to Scott Mills instead of Graham Norton. It was a bit odd. We were still getting all the visuals, but we could hear Scott Mills, who's supposed to be doing it on Radio 2, and Graham Norton quietly. So somebody put the wrong fader up somewhere. But luckily it fixed itself pretty quickly and we got Graham Norton. Now Graham Norton was brilliant last night. He always is. It's kind of fair, but he's also funny at the same time. Some of the comments that he makes is just nice. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's not rude. It works. It's okay. For example, after Ireland's entry, he said, oh, must have been something that they ate. Stuff like that, that's just a little bit, cheeky, but not particularly rude. And I think it works really nicely to give us that overview of what's going off. There were lots of things happening, and I know I haven't even got into my proper review yet. So let's just point out some of the things that have been going on this year. Number one, this started way back when the Eurovision was launched for 2024, which was actually 2023, in deciding which countries were allowed to enter, and then which countries got their songs approved. Now, there is quite a backlash at the moment in that the fans and some folk don't think that the Israel entry should have been allowed in the competition, political and things like that. Now, I didn't get involved in the full story of that, so I've just been as fair as I possibly can do. EBU said, yes, it's okay. The song is going into the competition. So out of respect for that, I decided to react to it, but not the original song, because I would have got trolled very badly. It's been very difficult for all of the Eurovision reactors. They're all getting trolled anyway, whether we react to Israel or not. We've been just inundated with so many comments. How dare you react? How dare you not react? And things like that. It's just been tricky for us. So initially I didn't, but then I thought, do you know what? They're in this competition, so I'm going to mention them when they come up in the rehearsals. So I did. So there we are. That's the first one. Second one, something broke last night that is going on TikTok right now. That the EBU, apparently, this is alleged, apparently, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it is a thing that happens, that when there is boos in the audience, the EBU put on cheering to cover the boos. So as the TV viewer, you hear good positive cheering and not boos. And that's become more obvious this year because we're getting so much footage come through from the rehearsals, from people that are actually there filming it. And then we go, well, they were booed, but on TV we didn't hear the boos. What's going off? So that kind of broke yesterday. And then one more thing that happened, which you're probably aware of, is that one of the countries was disqualified pretty much last minute. I don't know the full ins and outs of what actually happened, but it was an incident between the Netherlands performer, artist, towards a female camera person, and the EBU decided that it was not acceptable, and they were withdrawn from the competition literally last minute. So I still had until yesterday morning them listed in my list. So I had to take it out and sort of just remove that one. So you will have noticed if you watched on TV last night, the numbers were slightly different, because when we got to a certain number, their performance didn't happen and it just continued. So unfortunately, the Netherlands didn't get to be in the grand final. So with all that being said, let's continue with the recap. Sweden were the first one to go in. So very slick. I really like Sweden's entry. I thought it was going to be in the top 10, and it did do pretty well. The matrix effect and the colour scheme was really excellent. The twins were so slick. You could tell they were absolute professionals already. The song was pretty good. I thought it was a bop, one of my favourites. And they're singing, again, like I did in my last recaps. If you've not watched my recaps from semi-final 1 and 2, I have rated the vocals. Now, I think I was harsh, but I think I hopefully explained it a bit more in the second semi-final, where I said it's not just about the technical ability of the vocals, it's about the emotional quality, the energy, and the overall absolute drive to perform well, because there have been singers in this competition who were just too laid back for me. Just the energy wasn't there, the drive, I wasn't feeling it from them. So the rating includes those things. So for this one, for Sweden, I've got my notes from last night. The vocals were 5 out of 5. And it goes without saying that their chemistry was superb, but they're technically twins, so yeah. Because they really went the audience, but they also had this lovely chemistry with one another, which went down really well, I thought. Number 2, Ukraine. Now, this is a really good song this year. Very pleased for them. I thought that Jerry's voice was superb. The way she walks up that rock, the polystyrene rock thing, just superb performance. They gelled really well together. The chemistry was excellent. I also thought her voice was emotive, and she seemed very adaptable. She was able to do the more classical head voice tones as well as the chest and the belting. So she suited that perfectly. So overall, very good track. 5 out of 5 for vocals. Germany, I like this one. I thought it was very radio friendly. There's very much a kind of Lewis Capaldi, Rag and Bone Man, raw vocal. The staging was good. He must have been boiling though with all of those flames. I didn't understand what the flames were for and how they related to the song. I really enjoyed the na 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 eh bits. I thought that was catchy, and overall it was a good performance. But you know, we know the winner now, which obviously I'll get to at the end. If you haven't watched it yet, you must know who the winner is. Nice staging. What else did I write down? Absolutely top of his game. It was his best vocal performance in the competition. 5 out of 5. Now, I am going into this recap a little bit smug. Yeah, smug mode. I did think, should I say it right at the beginning of the recap? I'm going to be doing this from a smug position. But I got it right this year. I knew from that very second that I heard Sweden, that's the winner. That's the winner right there. Just like last year, Loreen, that's the winner right there. So I've got it right 2 years running. Yay me! Very pleased with myself. And I've already had people in the comments saying, oh my God, what do you know? Switzerland only won because of this. Switzerland only won because of this. It's like, oh, goodness me. At the end of the day, it was the winning song. It's an incredible song. It was better than all of the others. The staging was absolutely super. Their performance, flawless, absolutely well-deserved winner. I actually wanted Switzerland to win a couple of years ago, and they just missed it. I think it was Switzerland against Måneskin, and I was like, come on Switzerland, I love this song, let it win. But Italy took the trophy that year. Right. Luxembourg, really confident vocal for their age. I thought that the technical ability that the voice had to have for that song was so big. Those head voice tones and those belt moments, just really well handled, really well done. Lots of texture in the voice. 5 out of 5 for vocals. Another singer that's come on so much in the competition. It's really lovely to see. Israel up next. Now Israel, what I found with this is that the vocals at the beginning were quite weak, and it did improve as the song went on. When the sort of chorus kicked in, it really had a bit more of a vibe to it. I did enjoy the staging. I thought that the choreography was really nice, and she had a lovely voice. I thought that the maturity that she had in the voice was quite impressive. It was pitchy in places, and it was weak, especially in some of the verses. I got a little bit lost in that. So for this one, I'm going to go 4 out of 4 for vocals. Right, next up, Lithuania. Didn't really think much to this song. It was okay, but felt like a filler song that you would have on an album that wasn't quite the hit, but it was still a nice song. Staging was good. The different sort of red colour. The bridge didn't really do anything for me. I thought the choreography was kind of plain. And for me, it was just underwhelming. And there was some missed notes at the beginning as well. Just underwhelming. The energy that they put in just didn't feel enough. I mean, it's a Eurovision, for goodness sake. There was a laid back thing. I mean, there's laid back, but there's also laid back to a point of not caring so much. For example, Slovenia's vocal, outstanding, but that came from a place of experience and technical, just incredible ability. Whereas this, I don't know, there's something missing for me, so I gave the vocals 4 out of 5. Spain! Okay, I've said this in the previous recaps, and I'll say it again. This song would have been nothing without the nice bottoms. Literally, it was so forgettable, which is just a shame. I did like it in the beginning, but I can't even remember what the tune is now in my head. That's really bad. Out of all of the singers that put in energy and oomph and fire, this lady put in the least for me. I have had people in the comments say, oh, that's the style, but I didn't get it. I didn't enjoy it. I just thought, come on, give us a bit more. And the beginning so sounded like Chained to the Rhythm by Katy Perry. Just listen to that first sort of 5 seconds. Just absolutely matched for me. No energy vocals, 2 out of 5. Estonia. I have no idea how this got into the final. It was not one of the highest ones for me. It really wasn't. I didn't get it. It's like, what? What's happening here? Guys wandering about the stage. I think Graham Norton explained it really well. He said it was like a bunch of guys on a stag do, and he's absolutely right. That is how I saw it. The only thing I remember from Estonia's entry was, hey, hey, and this move. That was it. That was it. Not a particularly strong song. There's not really any decent vocals in it. It was just pretty much flat the whole time, apart from the guy with the low voice. And that turned out to be on the track. So, vocals for this one, 1 out of 5. Right, Bambi Thug Island. Loved this. Absolutely loved this performance. In the beginning, when I first saw it, you can go back to my first reaction. I was a bit like, I didn't really explain myself very well. I was kind of shocked by it. Not shocked as in never seen anything like this before, because we surely have. I just felt like it was so different. Are Eurovision actually going to get this? Are they going to understand where it's coming from? What the song is about? What the vibe is? And they absolutely did. They did brilliantly in the competition. And do you know what I really liked? Is at the end, when Switzerland wins, sorry if I've spoiled it, but I'm sure you know. Switzerland wins, Bambi Thug gives their crown to Switzerland, and they wear it on stage for the performance at the end. Brilliant, brilliant. So Bambi Thug's vocals, so fascinating to me. Just beautiful tonal quality. That melody moment, it was so lovely. And then when they go into the screams, the transition between each part of it, it's just technically brilliant. So many of you are like, yes, but they're just screaming. It's not that great a vocal. I think for this one, without being patronising, because that's not in me, that's not who I am, but you've really got to understand vocals to know how difficult what Bambi Thug was actually doing. The different transitions from a place of sweet breath to then the belts to the screams to the... It was really tough. Also, the other toughest vocal in the competition was Norway. That was a really tough vocal as well. So round of applause to those singers because they did incredibly well. 5 out of 5 for vocals. Right, Latvia. I'm so pleased Latvia got this far, actually got into the final. I like this song. It was high up on my list at the beginning before Switzerland happened and everything came down. But such a genuine, honest, real performance. I was drawn to him. I absolutely was. The song was really nice. His vocal, outstanding. Texture, emotional quality, technique, superb. The only thing I didn't like was that kind of warrior outfit. I wasn't feeling that at all. Kind of looked like, I don't know, like I was looking at a doll's, I don't know. I didn't feel that bit at all. But vocally, 5 out of 5. Greece, quite a disconnected song for me. For some, they might like this kind of thing, but it's not something that I particularly appreciate. We've got this high kind of head voice at the beginning, which was very... there's a real cultural element to that, which is great. Love that. That's great. But it just seemed really disconnected. And I just didn't get into it so much. I thought the stage performance was okay, and it definitely improved throughout the rehearsals to the final, but there were still moments where the microphone wasn't where it should have been, and the choreography wasn't as slick as potentially as it could have been. Oh, and this was the one song that felt like it was really long, and you're like, is it 3 minutes yet? Sorry, Greece. 3 out of 5 for vocals. UK. Oh, I know you're waiting for me to talk about the UK, it being the country I live in and where I'm from. Ollie, I'm so disappointed for you. So disappointed. The stage performance, the vocals were really weak. They did improve as the performance went on, but they were a little bit weak. Very much like last year's UK entry. There didn't seem to be any support on the lead vocals on the backing track. And I know I do rattle on about this. I don't want it to be all on the backing track so that the lead vocalist is a bit of a cop-out and they don't have to do as much. But I really think it would have helped Ollie and May Muller last year to have more vocals underpinning their lead vocal, because it just didn't come across as very strong. The staging was brilliant though, and they did scale it back even further from rehearsals, because from the first rehearsals that we saw, we had a tongue out. Definitely looked like there was an act of some sort. I'm trying to put this family friendly going on. Whereas in the next the semi-final, scaled it back a little bit. Let's not do the sexual act thing. And then they scaled back the tongues as well, so there was no tongues out on the actual final as well. So that kind of dumbed it down a little bit, but some people thought it was too much. I'm on the fence here. I did think that the sexual act bit was a bit ooh for Eurovision, with it being a family show and all that. So it was quite a shame. And you know what? The public vote, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Not because I was being mean or anything, but it was literally, what? The UK have got 0 point, no points from the public vote. Oh my actual goodness. I was like, what? Oh. So yeah, that was quite a moment, I've got to say. So vocals, 2 out of 5. Norway, this song really grew on me. Wasn't sure at the beginning. Another one of those where I was like, Eurovision going to get this? Are the audience going to understand? But they didn't really, did they? Because, Norway came out quite low on the list. But the vocals improved massively. Technically really difficult, really difficult. I love the authenticness of is that a word? Authenticness? I don't know. And the authentic element to the song, the folk element to it. Did really enjoy it. 5 out of 5. Italy. Now I had a gripe with Italy, not with the whole country, but the staging of it. Originally, Italy's performance was just them, just the singer. And it was sarcastic, and it was had loads of attitude in it. And I loved it. I really liked it. It had this sarcastic kind of charisma to it. But then they staged it with a bunch of dancers. No offence to the dancers, you were still talented, it was good. But it lost that feeling that it had originally. I lost it. So it felt more underwhelming. I thought the vocals were good, but not the best. It was actually better without the dancers there. I thought the vocals weren't loud enough at times. Costume change again? And I've said this in my other recaps. It's a heck of a lot of costume changes this year to figure out which ones they're finally going to wear. Let's just keep wearing different costumes. Why not? Throw some money at costumes. And while we're talking about that and the Met Gala and Blackout, if you've not heard about that, get onto TikTok and Instagram and your social media and look out the Blackout movement of 2024. It's fantastic. All to do with the Met Gala and celebrities. Well worth catching up with that. 4 vocals, 4 out of 5. And you know what? I'm feeling a bit braver today. I'm feeling a bit braver. I think because of this Blackout movement, it's made me think my opinion is my opinion, and at times it's really valid. Everyone's opinion is valid. Do you know what I mean? So instead of trying to fit in by not upsetting the cart, I'm going to tell you how I actually feel a little bit more. And that Honest Vocal Coach title is going to be coming back up. And it's definitely me being a lot more honest. Right, Serbia next. Beautiful song. Just absolutely love it. The staging was really lovely. Her voice, the pixie look with the ears. I don't think she had pixie ears. I think it was just the way that they had the hair across oh my goodness. But I tell you what. Oh, and the snow effect at the beginning was great. I didn't feel it anywhere as much as I did the other performances. It lacked a little something for this one. It wasn't that their vocals were bad, because they weren't. But there was something missing. I'm not sure what it was. But the vocals were still outstanding, so 5 out of 5. Right, Finland next. Not my cup of tea, this one. I do like a silly song from time to time, but this one, I just didn't enjoy it at all. And I thought, right as it started, will the angles work? Will this whole naked, not really naked with the pants covered thing actually work or not? And it did work so much better in the final. It really did. Didn't do particularly well at the end, though, when you look at the scores. The scores on the doors. So feel free to take a look at what the final scores were. It's all over the internet. I could post it on this video, but you've probably already seen it anyway. So overall, it was an okay performance. Not something I'm a fan of. 3 out of 5 for vocals. Så chama quem Portugal, absolutely beautiful voice, beautiful person, very brave costume at the flag wearing at the beginning of the show, but my goodness, do it. You know, tap into who you are, enjoy whatever you're wearing. And I was a bit like, oh, blimey. I'm getting flushed for a second. But yeah, it definitely stepped up a notch. The emotional quality was there. I was super drawn into the song. There's the lyrics there. I don't know what she was singing. It's not my language. But I was totally taken by it. I thought it was flawless. 5 out of 5. Armenia did better than I thought they would, actually. Really fun song. And the la 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 la, the crowd was so for it. And charisma-wise, I think she had the strongest charisma in the whole night, alongside with Switzerland. She just had this fun, kind of cheeky element to her. The song was fun. It was a real audience pleaser. 5 out of 5. Before we continue, again, feel free to check out my playlist so that you can see what my opinion is of the original song when it came out, and also the other recaps and rehearsals. Right, Cyprus. Good tune, not the strongest song. The ooh la la wound me up. Said this before, ooh la la. What? Have you run out of lyrics? Why are you singing ooh la la? And you repeated it, and then you did it again in the second verse? Not feeling that little bit of the song. Better vocals than the semi-final. Diction was definitely better. 4 out of 5 for vocals. Switzerland! I've said this. I hold my hands up. I thought the Revolve was going to be bland when I first saw the rehearsal clips, but I had no idea what they were going to do with that Revolve. It was so clever. It was absolutely just blew my mind. And this morning, I watched a backstage clip on TikTok of what it looks like for the audience and what it looks like for us at home, and how you see guys dressed in black running round to the big disc, pulling it down. They did so well to not fall down, to not shudder, to not miss any vocals, because the vocals were absolutely flawless. I knew this song was the winner from the beginning when I first heard it. The video is outstanding. If you haven't seen the video, it's well worth watching. Just a really, really worthy winner. 5 out of 5 for vocals. Slovenia, sexy, powerful. Her voice has been consistently incredible. Slightly jealous of her look with the body and the costume and all that. So not who I am. You know, I did try it once. I had my lips done once and had filler, and I never did it again. I was like, no, it's so not me. That's not who I am. This is it. It was a good performance, not a winner, but I did really enjoy the woes at the end. That mixed bell, superb. 5 out of 5 for vocals. Croatia, loved this. I'm probably being a little bit, I've forgotten the word now. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. It's a fun, catchy song, whereas I didn't like Finland. it's still a fun, catchy song, and I got this one. I really enjoyed it. It was like cha-cha-cha. It really was. Previous Eurovision song, if you don't watch it every single year. The lyrics are completely mental. They are. About leaving the cow and about the cat and meow, and it's just crazy. Nuts, really. But so much fun, and the vocals improved throughout the competition. Just brilliant. I thought it was a potential winner. Vocals 5 out of 5. Georgia, good vocalists, song not great, but I was really pleased that Georgia was actually in the final, because consistently over recent years Georgia haven't done that well in Eurovision, so it was really nice to see them get that far. Very much for Latvia as well. That was really nice to see them do so well and get to the final. The chorus was pretty good but repetitive. The choreo was also really obvious. I'm not a choreographer, but I did dance for... I'm not good at adding up, but from the age of 3 to 19, so I do have a lot of dance background. I just thought the choreo was really obvious. I thought that there was some moments of over pushing in the vocals, and I think it's more near the end, really. Adrenaline may have kicked in and technique might have gone out the window, which sometimes can happen, but 5 out of 5 for vocals. Okay, we're still going. This is a long recap. There's a lot of performers in this show. 26 that went down to 25. So that's a lot to talk about. So I am trying to keep them small. Right, next one. France. Really nice song. Beautiful voice. But I think they may have overdone it in the rehearsals and the previous jury shows and the semi-final, because their voice was just not on point that final, which is a real shame, because their vocal was absolutely superb, one of the best in the competition, but unfortunately it just wasn't as strong this time. I didn't get the technique and the quality as much as I had previously. My fave moment is when they stand away from the mic and sing loudly. It's all very nice. But I reckon he's overworked his voice. I didn't like the cringy moments of the staging where kind of puts his hand under the camera and there's also a tap on the screen. There's a few sort of cringy little moments. Not his fault, it's staging, whatever he's been given to use. Didn't really like those bits very much. It felt a little bit self-absorbed. I'm not saying he was self-absorbed. It just kind of came across as a little bit cringy. But still, even though his vocals wasn't at his absolute best as it had been, still 5 out of 5. So, last performance was Austria, a real bop. I loved this. Reminded me of Kathy Dennis. Absolutely did. Fun songwriting. But Heather Morris, you guys told me it was Heather Morris from Glee. You were absolutely right. Heather Morris, she reminded me of her in that her dance ability, really good, but the vocals not quite the same. Sorry, Heather Morris, but I just remember you for your incredible dance ability, and it was just the same for Austria. It was a great song though. I did really enjoy it. I just thought the vocals were a bit weak and dodgy at times. So 3 out of 5. Right, so now we get the really oh God, what we're going to do with ourselves. Let's go and get another drink. Is it toilet break? Is it sandwich break? What we're going to go for while they sort of, we're waiting for votes and all of that. So we have a bit of disco. Wasn't really feeling that. We also had a little bit of the EBU girl singing, sort of comedian singing a song. That was kind of fun. Then we had Loreen. Oh yes. I think I might do a reaction to the actual performance of this one. So if I do have time, watch out for that on my channel. But Loreen was superb. She always is. I heard this song yesterday on the radio, so I'd actually already heard it. Her vocals are so flawless in it. One of the best I've heard from her. So open and resonant. My only issue with this was the staging. Now, the staging was clever, with all of the string things coming down. But it kind of made it a little bit more static. So I think the camera angles would have been better getting a bit more close up to her face, a bit more. Because by the way, she must have the strongest stomach muscles in the world to be able to do what she was doing on that chair. I just got to the point, the end of the brand new song, I think it's called Forever, before we went into Tattoo. I kind of wanted her to get up. But it wasn't going to be possible, I think, because of the way that she was strapped to the chair. I did have a look underneath. It was all about weight. And there seemed to be a strap around her waist underneath the seat holding her in so she could do this stuff. But I don't know, I kind of wanted her to get off. I'd have completely been happy if some crew would have came on and unstitched her or whatever so she could get up and move about. But vocally, not that I need to give it 5 out of 5, but it absolutely was incredible. So then we get the whole voting, we get the juries first from all over the place. Netherlands decided that they're not going to get on screen to do their jury's vote, but they still did put their votes in, so we're good to go. He got to read them out, and there was a bit of booing against him because of the EBU, and some people thought about the decision with Israel being the competition and all that. So there's a bit of booing, and we actually got to hear it. It wasn't covered by cheering this time. Got the jury, and then we get the public votes, which always change everything. That's the moment where your stomach comes into your mouth, and you're like, who's actually going to win? But I knew it was going to be Switzerland. I absolutely felt it. The public votes really did change everything, as they always do. But it was awesome! So next year we get to go to Switzerland. Will I get to go? I don't know. I've not been able to go anywhere this year because I haven't a pacemaker fitted. It's an ICD, in fact, which is a defib and a pacemaker. So I've not been allowed to travel about. So maybe next year I'll get to Switzerland. Maybe someone in Eurovision will go, she's really good. She's honest. Let's have her. She can join the team with Scott and Ryland. Why that Ryland, why the heck not? So yeah, I'm putting my name out there. If you're interested, you want some coverage, some honest coverage, I'm your man, woman, person. So thank you everyone for watching all of my Eurovision content this year. I've proper enjoyed it. It's not completely finished. I will be putting the odd Eurovision video as the year goes on, but my other content will be coming back in a week or so. So again, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. Get in the comments. Let me know your opinion. Bye, labs.